Okay, this is still Mr. Lee. Second part of the walkthrough. Actually, if I do it in parts, there's going to be a lot of them. But anyways, so problem 3 of the 2009 10th grade Mcas. Which of the following is equivalent to the expression below? X squared plus 3x minus 28. So that boils down to being able to factor trinomials. So when you're factoring a trinomial is anything that has this form. A times x squared plus b times x plus c. A and b and c, they're just some number. So whenever you factor something like this, you take the last term. I'm going to write that plus there because it's important, and then you factor it. You find out which numbers multiply out to be c, or the last term. 1 times c is obviously going to be c, and you keep doing that until you find two factors that add up to this b part, this middle coefficient here, this middle term. I'm going to circle the first, make a square around the positive because the sign there is important too. And then when you find those two numbers, you start factoring these out by writing two open parentheses, and if a equals 1, I'll just write a equals 1. If the number in front of x squared is 1, or there's no number there whatsoever, you just begin writing two x's. You begin writing these by writing two x's, and from there you should find the two numbers that add up to the middle term, the b, and multiply out to the last term. See this in action. Let's see this with our problem. Our problem is x squared plus 3x minus 28, so I'm going to write that in. X squared plus 3x minus 28. Now you have to factor out the last term, the 28. 1 times 28 is 28. 2 times 14 is 28. 3 doesn't work in there because 3 times nothing is 28. 4 times 7, 5, it doesn't end in a 5 or a 0, so we can't use that. 6, nope. 7 times 4 equals 28. So here are all the factors of 28 right here. 1, 28, 2, 14, and 4 and 7. Now the last term being negative means that one of these numbers has to be positive and the other of these numbers has to be negative, because only when you get a positive times a negative will you get a negative answer. So I'm going to start by writing my parentheses and writing the two x's. Now let's see. How do I pick which factors are going to work? Well, I see which ones add up to or subtract out to this middle term, this positive 3. If I took 28 plus 1, that's 29. 28 minus 1, 27. Nope. No way with the 1 and 28. 2 and 14, well, 2 plus 14 is 16. 14 minus 2 is 12. Nope. 4 and 7. Here we go. Right here. If we have 7 and we subtracted 4, what would the answer be? 3. So if I put a negative 4 here, made this a positive 7, those are two numbers that multiply out to be negative 28 and add up to positive 3. So I'm going to just write that in. Minus 4 plus 7. And that's our answer factored right there. See if that's one of our multiple choice answers. First one right there. Yep. It's that easy. Or maybe it's just easy for me. So moving on to problem 4. If I could get my windows to cooperate here. I'll read the last part of this. So problem 4 says, which of the following graphs represents the solution of the inequality below? I know that below is cut off, but reading it for you. So this is the absolute value of x is less than or equal to 2. So here's all our graphs, and we got to find, out of all these graphs, which graph represents x less than or equal to 2. Well, I'm going to start from the end here, because just letting you know, just by looking at it, I can tell the first one's the answer. But they might give it to you in reverse, and showing you how the other ones are wrong will be helpful. So let's look at D. So for D, it graphs all the x's equal to or less than -2 and equal to or greater than 2. Well, let's see if that works. Let's pick this -4. If I put -4 and for x there, the absolute value of -4 is 4. That's not less than or equal to 2. So D is out. How about C? If I put 4, put it in there, absolute value of 4 is 4. That's not less than 2, so C doesn't work. B. If I pick -4 and put it in there, that's still not less than 2. So that leaves us with only A. And if you checked all the values of A represented here, -2, remember the solid circle means it includes this -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, plug any of those numbers in, it still makes this statement, the absolute value of x is less than or equal to 2. So the choice there is A. Yeah. Yep. Stop this one, and I'll move on to 5 and 6.